I've done over $115 million in sales by selling digital products for 16 times more than everyone else. And I'm going to show you so that you can use this method for yourself and make the most money possible selling digital products. So let's come right over to the screen. One of the things that I really excelled in was online fitness coaching. You can sell anything. This works in any industry, but what I started in was online fitness coaching. And I was selling a $50 per month online fitness program. And I basically would say, I'll help you get in shape and build muscle like every other trainer out there. And it wasn't until I raised my price to $800 per month. I would sell a $3,200 4-month package. And I would say, I'll help you eat whatever you want without sabotaging results. And the benefit was now people were intrigued. They said, oh, like, what do I actually want to do? I want to eat like crap and I don't want to work out. Now, we all know you can't get in great shape doing that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying you go lie to people, but in terms of marketing, we want to create curiosity and we want to sell them what they want so then we can give them what they need. And so the first thing I did is I raised my price 16 times more. 50 times 16 is 800. And then what I did is I positioned it as I'll help you eat whatever you want without sabotaging results versus every other trainer in the marketplace. The big thing in business is very simple. You want to be successful at business or really anything in life, do exact opposite of the crowd. Do the exact opposite of what everyone else is doing. That's the easiest way to know how to be successful, because if you do what everyone else is doing, you 100% won't stand out. So for me, I started by selling a $50 per month fitness program, and then I went to a $800 per month, and I positioned the USP, and we're going to get into that. It's unique selling proposition. So my unique selling proposition was this right here. I'll help you eat whatever you want without sabotaging results, which is a lot more intriguing than I'll help you get in shape and build muscle. So things we want to think about to come up with this, right? So a couple things we want to think about so you can come up with this is, number one, why does your prospect have this problem to begin with? Okay, so you want to understand their struggle, and it makes your messaging hit deeper. So in fitness, for example, why can't most people stop eating tasty foods and get to the gym? It's hard, right? It's hard. Like, it's pretty obvious. It's pretty hard for them to do. Number two is then, what other ways has your prospect tried to solve this problem before? So this helps you position your product as a solution. So for example, a lot of people in fitness, we all know they're dieting, they do really hard workouts, etc. But most people can't stick with it because it's rigorous. And so by me saying, I'll help you eat whatever you want without sabotaging results, it created that curiosity, right? And it gave them a different way to look at it that maybe they hadn't seen before. And that's what helped me stand out. You have to do this in business. And then number three is, why aren't those other solutions working for your prospect? Your product should bridge the gap between their failures and success. So if you think about it, most people, when they fail at fitness, they fail because they say it's too rigid, it's too strict, it's not fun, it's too hard. And so all I did is I basically said, hey, I'm going to teach you how to eat whatever you want, which is the biggest complaint people have. They have to eat healthy and still get results, right? And so I'm not saying I was the best marketer ever at that time or even now, but what I am saying is that alone helped me scale from $0 to $1 million in a year. And I had a higher price point. Okay. So the next thing we want to think about is, what have they tried? So in terms of fitness, everyone's hired a trainer that didn't work. Roger. Paying for a program that didn't work. So Beachbody, P90X, Weight Watchers, restricting food, right? So a lot of people say, oh, I restrict food, I just can't lose weight. And that's not true. Any of you who want to put that to the test, go starve yourself for, 3 months and, tell me how you look. You'll probably die for sure. But a lot of people will say that, and it's not true. Calorie counting. Oh yeah, I count calories, I just can't lose weight. I've done different workouts. Oh, they just don't work, right? So you got to think about all the stuff they've tried. So when I'm trying to give them the solution, you want to come up with 3 pillars. And so my 3 pillars were super simple. And so if we go back to what they've tried, we want to say everything in opposite of this. Okay, so pillar number 1 that I used to sell this at is I say, I'll teach you how to eat whatever you want without sabotaging results. So to break this down for you, this is how it would sound on a sales call. I'd say, look, most people, they eat chicken, rice, and broccoli, and that's great. You lose weight, but they can't stick with it, and they stop and they quit and they give up, right? Because on your birthday, Hanukkah, Thanksgiving, New Year's, Halloween, Christmas, you're going to eat bad food, and you still want to look good though, right? So the goal is not to cut out bad food. The goal is, how can you eat bad food and still look amazing? So what I'm going to show you is how to eat whatever you want without sabotaging results, so you can still enjoy yourself on holidays, on Christmas, on your birthday, but still look good. Because otherwise, what's the point? Like, if you start cutting those foods out, there's no way you're going to be able to succeed, because eventually you're going to give in. Does that make sense? And they'd say, yeah, that makes sense, right? So again, I'm giving them what they want. I'm saying the opposite of what's kept them stuck. Every other trainer is telling them to, portion control, measure their calories, do pre-made food meals and stuff like that. Like, it's the opposite. Okay. Number 2 is then I said, I'll teach you how to train however you want without sabotaging results. Here's how it would sound on a sales call. So I'd say, look, Most people go to the gym, they do a ton of training, they do a ton of cardio. It looks great on paper. They start to see results, but they can't stick with it because it's too hard, right? They don't recover. They don't have time. They got kids, they got work. It doesn't work. So here's the cool part. 90% of your results comes from nutrition. 10% of your results comes from training. Now, is training better than not trained? Yeah. Should you have muscle instead of no muscle? Sure. But if you just want to look good and you don't care about how much muscle you have and stuff like that, you actually don't have to train that much. You can literally lose body fat just by watching what you eat. So the cool thing is you can literally train however you want, and I'll show you how to do it so it fits in your lifestyle and your goals. Right? And nothing I've said so far is untrue or a lie. It's exactly how I sold people. Now, the third thing is what I call lifestyle recalibration. So now that you know you need to learn how to eat whatever you want without sabotaging results, now that you know you need to train however you want without sabotaging results, now I need to walk you through how do we get there, right? So your first option is you could hire a personal trainer. Now, you've hired a personal trainer before in the past, but here's the issue. They focus on training and not nutrition. What did we say earlier? Nutrition is 90% of results. So not only do they focus on the 10%, but they're not incentivized to teach you anything, because if you learn and you fire them, they lose their paycheck. So that probably isn't the best option. You can do it, but that probably isn't the best option. Number two is you could get an online program. So you could get Beachbody, P90X, Weight Watchers, whatever. And that's great. You'll lose results. You'll get results in the beginning because they make it really severe, but then you're not able to stick with it because, again, it's so severe. And a lot of times they give the same program to everyone. And they do that because in the beginning, you get crazy results. You get great 30-day transformations, but then past 30 days, you can't stick with it. And so then you don't get the results anymore. So again, you've done that. It's cheap. That's the benefit, but it's not really tailored to you. And usually, again, you can't stick with it long term. So why would you start something now that you can't do in the next 5 to 10 years? Finally, you could hire me, and not only will I teach you how to eat whatever you want without sabotaging results, not only will I teach you how to train however you want without sabotaging results, but I'm going to teach you everything you need to know to get results for the rest of your life. Even as you age, you'll understand the changes you need to make, because you're like a car, as it gets older, it doesn't change how the car works. It just gets a little rustier and needs some more tire changes, more oil changes. And so the benefit of working with me is you will pay me one time for the rest of your life versus $50 a month for the rest of your life. Right. And so guys, when I was able to present this to people, not only could I sell it at 16 times more, but I was able to make millions and millions of dollars. So when you take everything we covered and you create a USP, which is what I just did there, I create a USP that gives you competitive advantage over everyone else in the space. That's how you win. And that's how I've been able to sell my product for 16 times the price of the competition. So if you need help with this, just check the links below. But if you want to see how I built a 6-figure fitness company in 2 hours, just click here.